Boys, it's Chin. The UFC Fight Night Bautista versus Oliveira just wrapped up a few minutes ago. This was just as good as I thought it would be. Bar a couple fights here and there, this was relatively awesome given the fact that Apex Fight Nights are typically dog shit. Starting with Segula versus KYOJI, this was actually a good women's fight. I got it wrong. My picks, I went 7-5, I believe, on the card. Um, I got the big fights right though, which mattered. This was a good fight. Cachoeira is tough. She hits hard. Saw Amanda Nunes in her corner. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that was a thing. Yeah. Gafarov versus Yakub Wiklax, bro. This was fucking crazy. Uh, Gafarov. I picked Gafarov by KO. Um, he was almost able to get the KO, but he shot a double leg and fucking got cooked with a second to go. Sick finish. I don't really care that I got the finish wrong or the fight wrong because I don't really like Gafarov and Wiklax is pretty cool. Um, Gafarov needs to shave that fucking vagina he's got on the back of his fucking back. That's disgusting, dude. That patch of hair is fucking yuck, man. Yeah, Wiklax is fucking tough. That was cool. Kong Wang had a low key banger with this random. That was pretty cool. Kong Wang always finds a way to find herself in trouble in fights that she's massively favored to win. Not surprised about that. I picked her by decision. Not much to say there. Good fight. Good fight. I wasn't able to get a pick out on this fight here. Yanni Vasquez versus Javid Basharat. Um, Crazy fight. I mean, I would have picked Basharat, but it doesn't matter. This is a crazy fight. Um, Vasquez is one of those tough ass Mexicans. It's hard to pick against these Mexicans, man, because they always come out and defy your expectations, and that's what he did. Came in, dropped Basharat. Basharat's low key chinny. Like Basharat's definitely low key chinny at this point in his career, um, which is relatively early in his career, might I add. Yeah, no, he's low key chinny. He's getting dropped by everybody, getting knocked out by Ricky Simone. I mean, that's he's got to work that out. It was a good fight though. It was a good, nice back and forth war. There's a lot of good fights on this card. Um, Bruno Brazil versus Caitlin Sosa was not one of them. I picked Bruno Brazil by decision. Don't really give a shit. She had a good thing going in the first round with the knees to the body, and then she kind of abandoned that as the fight went on. I'm pretty sure I saw Brazil balloon up to like a minus 1,000 favorite or something after the first round, and she just decided to do nothing. Like super super weird. I don't know. This is why you can't pick fucking women's fights, man. Some of these people they just fucking they just don't know how to fight. Nikolai Veretennikov ran through Nico Price in one of the most brutal KOs I've seen in a few months. Nico Price needs to retire. I think he's long overdue for retirement. I think he should have retired after he got knocked out by Robbie Lawler a few years ago. That was just. This is. I mean, how chinny can a man be? Veretennikov, of course, he hit him hard. He hit him with some nicely placed shots, but I mean, Nico Price, zero reaction. Like, he literally just no head movement. Just fuck, he's there right in the middle to get hit. And then he wings punches at you with low technique. I mean, he was cool, 5, 10 years ago when he was having wars with Luke and getting the upkick KOs and shit. Like, he was fucking awesome. But he was never going to be anything big. And now that his age has caught up with him and all the mileage that he's had and all the wars that he's had, you're getting knocked out by Veretennikov on a prelim card on like a fucking week's notice or whatever. Like, you gotta hang it up, man. You gotta hang it up. I like Nico Price too. He's gotta hang it up. Speaking of dogs, though, speaking of people that shouldn't be hanging it up, Alex Morono is a fucking dog. He's got a couple left, he said, which is cool. This was just a tough ass performance. I picked on Shanko by KO. I nearly got it. But the ref wanted to see somebody die, and it didn't work out that way because Morono actually caught a second win and started banging up Donchenko in the later rounds. It wasn't enough to win, but it was enough to make the fight pretty damn entertaining, even though it was relatively slow. It was pretty fun. Donchenko needs to work on the gas tank. Um, he's definitely got what it takes. He's 24 years old, like he's a damn good prospect, but there's no way he doesn't lose a few times until he figures it out. He's got a long way to go. He's nice to watch though. He's pretty fun. Big meaty hooks all the way through. Moving on to the main card, we had Jacoby and Walker open it up. Um, Walker's not good. I picked Jacoby. I think I said dominant decision. I said he might be able to find the knockout because Walker's low key chinny. And Walker's 26 and getting knocked out like that by a volume puncher. I don't want to say volume puncher. He's got a shit ton of knockouts, but I mean, before this string of knockouts, Jacoby was widely seen as a knockout puncher. I mean, if you look at his knockout numbers, like his betting odds and all that, which I know some people don't like to use as an argument, but I mean, you have to look at them. Nobody was expecting him to knock out his last few opponents. I mean, it just wasn't. It wasn't expected at all. He's not generally seen as a knockout puncher, but now he is. Now he is. I could say his power has been underrated for sure. I mean, I was underrating it at least. Um, Julius Walker Chinney. I said he'd have a good first round. He did. 1 round cardio. He gets clocked once and it's a wrap. Just not a good fighter. I know people like him because he's got like a social media following and he started on social media and all that, but he's just not good. Um, he should get cut. There's a lot of fighters on this card that I believe should get cut, and he's one of them. Him and Nico Price. Moving on, we had Farid Basharat, the better Basharat, against Gene Matsumoto. I picked Gene Matsumoto, a low-key crafty pick. It was a split decision. It was a razor-thin fight. Could have went either way, and it was a hell of a banger. I'm fine with the pick because, like, you know, the best possible pick other than a wrong pick is at least a big underdog that gets close. You know, I'm content. I'm very content with it, and it was a banger. Basharat looked outstanding in the first 2 rounds. He was just fucking piecing them up, fucking big 1-2s down the middle. It was a great fight, and then Gene Matsumoto just has that dog in him, and he started fighting back, started swinging with him, and at some point, maybe in like the late second or early third, they just they just pointed to the middle and just started banging it out in a phone booth for like a fucking straight 45 seconds. That was fucking sick. That was probably the most fun moment of the night. That was badass. This was a sick fight. Um, Speaking of sick fights, this was probably fight of the night if it wasn't Basharat. Powerbar versus Mikhail Jacek. I picked Jacek by round one steamroll KO. And he almost did it. He had him hurt in the first minute or so. But Powerbar just came back and started fucking swinging. And they just went fucking punch for punch on each other's chins. And like halfway through the fight, Mikhail started throwing punches and then just not bringing his hands back up. And he started getting clipped and he got hurt a little bit in the second and third. And he was able to come back and just outdog Power Bar. I remember saying Power Bar was definitely being overlooked here. I mean, I don't really think he's great. I think he's chinny. But Mikhail hasn't necessarily done anything crazy to deserve being minus 500 in a fight that will very obviously be a slugfest if he doesn't get him out early. And that's what it was. And this was very close. Um, I'm happy that Mikhail's winning, though. Mikhail on a win streak is fun. He's got a lot to give. He's got a crazy KO power. Um, he's cool. He's cool. He's a really fun fighter to watch. It's cool that he's on a win streak, and this was a sick win. It was a sick fight, and yeah. Moving on, we had Rizvan Kuniev versus Jailton Almeida. Gotta say, Rizvan is fucking fat. He's tubby and ugly. He's just fucking retarded generally. Um, there's nothing good to say about that performance. And it was interesting to see Jailton strike here. We've never really seen him strike that much in a fight. Usually he just gets gassed out and fucking just wilts. But no, his cardio actually held up a little bit more than usual. Still gassed out at the end. He looked okay. Um, Basically confirmed that he's a one trick pony in a sense that if he can't get the takedown, he's cooked. Or if he can't get the finish early, he's cooked. Because pretty much out of all of the fights in the UFC that he's had, which is, I don't know, 8 or 9 or so, um, he's kind of just finishing people early or he's losing most of the fights that he's not able to get early takedowns in. Like a semi competent top 100 heavyweight could beat Jailton Almeida if they drilled takedown defense for a year or maybe even 6 months. I don't understand why Jailton doesn't move down. I think it's just completely fucking him over to fight at 265, and he said earlier in his career, and he's fought early in his career, that he could move down and fight at 205 if he wanted to, but people were ducking him. He should give that a go. Heavyweight's just not. It's not the way to go for a guy like Jailton. He just lost to Rizvan fucking Kuniev. And I want to just say something, bro. Rizvan Kuniev was dog shit in the PFL. They gave him a shot against Curtis fucking Blades. He loses. And then they give him another shot at a top six guy. What the fuck is this Russian favoritism? This shit fucking pisses me off. Like, I can't wait. Like, everybody's like, oh no, Bautista, bro. Bautista's the fucking Hitler of MMA. Oh, I want him knocked out cold, man. Fuck you. Rizvan Kuniev is literally Stalin. This guy is literally fucking Joseph Stalin. We need him out cold in his next fight. I fucking hate this guy. He's so fucking fat and retarded. Moving on. Speaking of fat and retarded, Amir Albazi got schooled by my goat KYOJI Horiguchi. My goat KYOJI Horiguchi is in the top 5, top 6 in 2026. It's a fucking beautiful thing. Styled on him, got dropped early, as I said would happen. He has a sus chin. I said he could take a right hook from Ngannou and get jabbed by Albazi and get dropped. It is what it is. You know? He came back unfazed and fucking ran through his ass. Ran through him. Nearly finished him at the end. Wobbled him many times throughout the fight. Styled on him. Big in and out movements with the karate style. Fucking prime Stephen Thompson out flyweight out there. Big 1-2s down the middle. Cracked him with a lot of weird hooks that just barely grazed Albazi's like temple. Like just barely grazed. And it really badly hurt him. I mean, KYOJI either has crazy power or Amir just has a shit chin, and I think it's both. Low-key surprised KYOJI didn't finish it, but it doesn't matter, man. He is fun to watch. I still can't believe everybody was picking Tagir to beat him. I think that is so crazy. That was never gonna happen. I mean, KYOJI's really fucking good, and he proved it. He's calling for a title shot. I would love to see it. I would love to see it, but it's just objectively not the right way to go. I think Tyra deserves it. Yeah, KYOJI could fight Cop. They could run that back. They fought in Ryzen. That would be awesome. They could run that in Japan. Maybe the co-main to Tyra versus Van if they don't run that in the Oliveira card. Whatever it is, man. I want to see KYOJI in a number one contender fight against Cop or Moreno if Moreno beats Loner Kavanaugh in a few weeks. I think KYOJI versus Moreno could be a fight of the year contender. I would love to see it. I still wish they kept Loner Kavanaugh from filling in because KYOJI could fill in right now. He took barely any damage other than when he got dropped. Fluke dropped. That was CGI. Amir's a bum. He's out of the top 5. Let's fucking go. Moving on to the main event. Finally, I got a fucking main event right. Mario Bautista just absolutely ran through Vinicius Oliveira. Very Steve Garcia, David Onama-esque in a sense that Oliveira, like Onama, was just very, very, very not ready for the spotlight. I mean, you have to look at the numbers with these things. There's a reason everybody was picking against Oliveira in his first 4 UFC fights. Now, I will say, not to toot my own fucking horn, I picked Oliveira in his first 4 fights. But Mario Bautista's a different level. I saw Bautista as a over 2-1 favorite this time last week or something like that. He was a big favorite. And now he's back down to even going into the main event, and then he just schools him. I mean, it was just the amount of people picking Oliveira. You know, obviously a lot of people that knew MMA, they're picking Bautista. It's just Oliveira's a weird pick. He's a fluky fighter. He's like he's just so unreliable to pick. Bautista, on the other hand, though, looked insane. While I'm shitting on Oliveira here, he still is a guy that doesn't typically lose the first round or two. I thought Oliveira would go in, have a good round or two, maybe even drop Bautista or stumble him a few times with some big hooks like he does, because that's all his style. It's super fluky. And he didn't really. Bautista kind of just ran through him with the grappling. There's really not much to say in this fight. Other than we haven't seen Bautista grapple like that in quite a while. And now I know that it might be due to Oliveira's inexperience, but Bautista clearly has something going with that grappling. I'm surprised he's been striking with all these people. You know, Patchy Mix I understand, and Umar is going to hold you down. But I mean, I'm surprised he was holding Aldo against the fence. You know? Like, I feel like, I guess maybe he got better since that fight. I was going to say I feel like he could have taken Jose Aldo down, but Jose Aldo has insane takedown defense, so I take that back. But still, I mean, if you're watching this, you can't deny. I mean, Bautista's grappling looked really fucking good, and he had that. He's always had that. We just haven't seen it in a while. But we saw him really have some crazy grappling exchanges with Sanhagen when he fought him a few years ago. And then a few more times, he had some great grappling exchanges in his fights leading up to this big win streak that he was on before he lost to Umar. I mean, Bautista's a good fighter. I understand people don't like him because the Aldo fight, but I mean, you gotta kind of look past it at this point. He nearly vanquished fucking Umar. That shit would have been tough, man. He nearly took his ass out, and then people would have loved him. And now he's doing this to a low key industry plant Brazilian dude. Like, good shit, man. Bautista, that was fun to watch. He ragdolled him and fucking subbed him quickly. There's nothing much to say other than Oliveira should definitely be fighting off of the rankings. Like, he shouldn't be ranked anymore. He should be fighting a guy that's unranked. And then Bautista, I'd love to see the Sandhagen rematch. That would be badass. I think they could do some really, really fun. They could put that as a fight night main event again in like Colorado or some shit for Sandhagen, and build a really fun card around it. Uh, yeah, this was Batista versus Oliveira. Great card. We have an off week next week. I will be releasing a few fun videos in between then and my picks for the Strickland Hernandez card, which is next, which is a banger. And yeah, this has been Chin. See you guys next time.